How to price yourself is a very tricky question. I get this asked so often, Paul, how do I make my prices? And it's not easy. It depends a little bit on your kit. Do you have a large, big, expensive camera? Can you charge more? Can you charge your dream price when you buy this expensive camera? Or you have to have a mentor or a film school, or can you take a course or whatever? That's the question, and that's not the easiest question. That's why we answer this today in this video. That's the Berlin Tierpark here. Welcome to this little video. My name is Paul and I'm a full-time freelancer. I worked for million and billion-dollar companies. I worked for big clients, I can say. And that's the thing, how to price yourself when you're just starting out, and how to price yourself when you have, for instance, only a Lumix S5. Welcome to Animal Prison here. That's a little animal prison. When I started my little videography business, I remember I made videos for gear I wanted. I saw a lens that I wanted to buy. For instance, I wanted a 300 euro lens, and then I charged 300 euro for a little lens. And that were my prices, because I had no idea how to charge, what to charge. But I give you some examples here, a little guide with actual prices. Okay, imagine your status is you are a guy, you have some camera, and you want to have an hourly rate. I know a lot of people say, oh, don't charge hourly rates, charge rates that are maybe only day rates, but you are starting out, you are maybe the small business here. I want to help the small guys starting to make a videography, maybe a little living from it, or earn a little bit money. And that's the channel here about. Have I mentioned that I am so lost? The restaurant is over there, I am here, and this Tierpark here in Berlin is huge. And I don't know where I am. I try to find the restaurant. I hope we will find it. So how to actually price then yourself? Well, your hourly rate is then maybe, let's say, 30 euro, and your media kit, your camera kit that you would have to rent normally is then maybe 200 euro. When your clients say, why do I have to charge extra for the camera you already own, blah, 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 you say him, well, I have to be up to date with my camera equipment. I have to have a new camera, and that's expensive. And you don't have a camera, so you pay me for my camera. When he doesn't understand this logic, you can tell him, well, if you don't want my camera for like 200 euro, then you rent a camera and a media kit. Then maybe rent a better camera. You can make this into a positive thing. You give then the client the option, well, rent a big Nikon Z8 in a kit, in a rig and everything, an Atomos and recorder and everything. And then he will quick realize that maybe your media kit is cheaper and also good. So tell him this maybe when he asks why he has to charge for your camera. I had often the situation where a client asked me, why do I have to charge for your equipment? I even had the situation that I charged drone usage per day. Then I put maybe 90 euro extra per day for my drone back then. And we didn't use the drone. We had 5 days of shooting, and on 3 days I didn't use my drone. And the client told me, well, we didn't use the drone, so I will not pay for the drone. And I said yes back then. And that is actually ultra stupid, because you charge, usually you charge for every equipment you have on the set, what you have bring. If you don't use it, that's the thing, that's maybe the client's thing or your thing, but don't say, okay, we didn't use this and this lens, so we charge a little bit less. That's completely stupid. You also maybe, if you then don't use in a hotel every sofa, every bed, every window, every knob, then you charge the same price. So that's no reason to charge less because you didn't use something. That's not good. Charge always full equipment price. So, and according to your equipment, let's say you have only the Lumix S5. What can the Lumix S5 do? Well, the Lumix S5 can provide you up to 4K Vlog 10-bit quality. You can make amazing footage with the Lumix S5. That's an amazing camera. You can even film over half an hour when you only use 8-bit in this camera. And then it's a full-fledged video cinema camera. Ask the client, where do you want to publish this? What kind of media is your goal? Do you want to publish on YouTube, or is it only social media? Then the Lumix S5 is capable of so many things. I made in 1 year 94,000 euro only with the Lumix S5. That's a very, very capable camera. And I would suggest building a rig around it, because when you have a rig, you can charge more, you look very more professional. I have a little video here on how to make a affordable beginner rig with the Lumix S5. And by the way, this 6K feature in the Lumix S5, where people then choose in the high-speed photo mode 6K photos, and in your editing software then a 6K video in 30 FPS, that doesn't look better because it's 6K. More pixel don't make a better video. This video here is sponsored by Full HD 50 FPS in 8-bit, ladies and gentlemen, from the Lumix S5. Thank you very much. Thank you for listening to my TED Talk. So what is actually a good rate and what is a bad rate? What is very low and what is very high? Well, I made my first music video for 750 euro, one of my first clients ever. But that's good money. But that was 2.5 days, more than 10-hour days of shooting. Multiple locations, a lot of driving, and then hours on hours of editing. Crazy work for a little bit money. And if you ask maybe your first client, well, what would you invest for a little commercial video? Even when you then ask company, you will end up maybe with a quote even higher than you would expect. I think the days are over where people should maybe charge 500 euro for a video, because that is 250 for filming and 250 for editing. Think about it. If you have a normal job, you learned something, carpenter for instance, and your hourly rate is then 30 euro, and you sit maybe when you film something 10 hours with preparation, with deloading the card, recharging the batteries, you have a 10-hour day. Then editing is at least 20 hours. When you think, oh well, I edit a commercial video in like 10 hours, forget it. The client want to have some review, feedbacks, calling the client back and forth will take at least 20 hours. So you end up with at least 30 or 40 hours of work. And multiply that by maybe 30 euro or something. And don't think that you make maybe a big fortune and good money after 1 year. I spent all my money in the first year on lenses, better camera, better equipment. I made nothing. The basically first 3 or 4 years I made almost nothing. That is clear. But like I said, even if you made a video for like 300 euro, 500 euro, and if you now think, well, that's ultra embarrassing, it's a little bit low because people think a low rate is embarrassing, then don't judge yourself too hard. You always learn something when you work for a new client. You learn a new technique, you learn something, and that's also very valuable. You learn how to negotiate with clients, that's more valuable, and how to tell and how to say your price is even more valuable, because that's a difference. If you say maybe, well, I would charge maybe 800-900 euro for a commercial video, is this okay? Or when you say, you know what, my prices are between 2,500 and 10,000 euros. If you can work with these numbers, we can work together. And that's how I approach my clients. When they call me and they ask me, what's your prices? I say, well, when you Google this and this commercial video, image film or whatever, you end up with Google saying the prices of an average videographer is between 2,500 and 7,000 euros. And that's also my prices. My prices are, I'm not a big production Hollywood company. I don't charge so much that you can invest it in a new car, but I'm also not the 19-year-old guy that just starting out with a new camera. I'm exactly in the middle, and I think that's the real answer. I made so often the experience that is what makes a good price is often not the number behind it. Maybe 2,000 euro is a lot of money, but when you have to work for these 2,000 euros your ass off, that becomes a problem. And when you can only do this maybe once per month, then not so much money. Imagine you have then a portfolio, a video, and you say to a client, I can deliver this you for 900 euro. and it is a nice video. 4-hour shooting day, nice 30-second commercial video, and you cut this commercial video together in like maybe 3 hours or sometimes. Let's be honest, I made sometimes an event video in 1 hour on my computer and I received 1,200 euro for it. That's crazy money. And when you can bring this to the table, a little shooting day, and then an edit that you are good in, your style, and you provide this for like 5 or 6 clients per month, you make more than the guy that is editing for like 2,000 euro and making 1 video per month because he spends like 40 hours in this. And yeah, that's also a thing to consider. Fast return times are often more valuable than the best video in the world. Anyway, if you don't have to live from this job yet, if you have maybe a part-time job like I had, you can say actually any price you want because you don't depend on this money. Like me, I'm a full-time dude. I have to work that I can survive. And if you don't have to survive from this craft, then tell the client any price you want. You can tell them, heck, I want 3,500 euro, 5,000 euro for a little commercial. Believe me, if you can sell yourself, one client will sell yes. And then you make a lot of money from a 30-second commercial or something. Never work for free. I have a video online. That's actually also true. Never work for free. Subscribe to my channel if you want to learn more how to make a little bit more money with your camera. My name is Paul. I'm a videographer, full-time freelancer from Berlin, Germany. See you in the next video.